Hi, I'm Heather Noel from the GivingGameFoundation.com. You're about to hear a private session that brought about a great deal of emotional healing. If you listen carefully, you will see that this session is a blueprint that you can apply to yourself. This session is with 19-year-old twins, Rebecca and Audra. So I'm going to go to Audra for a moment. And Audra, do you have any questions from this week, or do you have any thoughts that you want to share?
This week's been pretty good. I realized that, I had some homesickness pop up, but I realized, because, in the past, I would have told myself, nope, get over it, you're over here now. But I realized that everything's inside me. So to help, because I realized, it's not, the coast isn't going anywhere. I could return someday, and it's so I've been going inward and really feeling it, going back home. And I don't know, it helps, it made me feel so much better, and it's made me more present, I feel like, and appreciating the land here and the sunsets and things. So I realized, that was a big part of letting myself be able to actually feel it without judgment. Oh, you shouldn't feel homesick. It's no, it's okay if it comes up, and it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be here. So,
Yeah. Great. Well, let me show you something that I do. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And Amelia and I often think about when we lived in Bali 3 years ago, and we're like, oh, Miss Bali. It's so much fun. But to go back there, we've got horses, we've got cats, we have rent. All this stuff that we didn't have to deal with before because we were living on this ranch, or we were living in an RV. So we could just walk away and go do something else and not have anything that we had to really worry about. In any case, so I want to show you a technique that I have learned. And so right now, if I really, really wanted to, I could get on the plane and I could go, right? I mean, nothing would stop me from going if I really wanted it, and I wanted to make all the arrangements to do it. I could do it. But this is what I've taught myself to do, and it's really interesting. Imagine the place that you want to go back to, okay? And both of you think about this, any place that you would like to go to. And what you're going to do is imagine a color. Imagine that there's a color that shows you the energy of what would happen for you if you went there. And what color do you see?
Green.
Okay. Is it bright or dark?
Bright.
Okay. So what that means is if you wanted to go back, it would be a good experience for you, right? Now imagine if you were to go back there and try to live there again. And what color do you see?
A darker color, I think, brown or black.
Right?
Yeah.
So you already know what would happen if you went back. Now, when you see that color, it's really clear that you're not meant to go back to live. You could go back for a visit, but you're not meant to go back to live. And if you did try to go back and live, what do you think would happen?
It would probably not turn out. I don't know. It'd probably not go well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So every time I look at Bali, and logically, I could go back easily. I could sell my horse. I could rent out my room. You know what I mean? I could do everything. I could make it happen. But every time I look at Bali for the last 3 years, it has been either gray or black. So it doesn't matter. So it's important to understand. So the reason my life goes so swimmingly all the time is because I'm always listening. I'm always paying attention. I never force something that is not in my best interest. I sit back, I look at it, I feel into it, and it's no. And then I can see, you can see it for yourself. If you really wanted to see it, you could see why it wouldn't work out to some extent. You could just see things not going the way you thought that they would. And yes, you could do it the hard way, but why, right?
Yeah.
And how many times have you done it the hard way because you're that's what I want, I'm going to go do it? And you certainly could. Or you could do it the easy way and go, I'm not meant to be there. Okay, so now you can see that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
now look
really
at your
awesome.
Yeah. Now look at your home where you're at right now, and what color do you see around it?
I feel like it's like a yellow.
Me too.
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, a yellow.
Okay. Okay. And is it bright yellow or dark yellow?
I think it's bright.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So you get that, and doesn't it feel warm and homey and sunshiny and all that good stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's completely supporting you to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when you step back and now think about California, does it feel as appealing to you?
No. No.
Yeah, see? And like all of a sudden that feeling of, oh, I miss it, I want to go back, I need to live there. And it's like, not so much. Like I have great memories, and I'm happy to have my memories, and if I really, really want to go, think about this. If you really wanted to go there, you could go and have a visit, couldn't you? If you really wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you might go,
Yeah.
that's just a lot of work. That would be a lot of driving, or I'd have to take a plane. I don't want them sticking anything up my nose. I don't want to be on a plane. In other words, you might go, yeah, I could go there, but, right? So,
Yeah.
and for instance, try this for a minute. So now you've seen that it's this bright green for you to go there. So like you go there in your mind, this like the bright green color. But now imagine you going there however you would get there. Would you drive? Would you fly? How would you go if you were to go visit?
I'm not sure. What color is it? Wait.
I mean, pretend. Here's what I want to say. Pretend like money's not an issue, right? So, however you think you would be able to get there. Like if you went, okay, I'm going to go visit my friend's having a wedding. You would get yourself there. How would you get there? What's the most likely way that you would go? Would you save up and fly there most likely, or would you try to drive? What would you do?
Well, we drove here, but I might fly. I don't know. Maybe a drive? Probably a drive.
Well, do you have a car that's in good enough shape that you could actually take there and have it without it inconveniencing anybody else? Do you share your car? Do you own your car?
Yeah, I have a car. I think it would.
Okay.
Yeah, it would make it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. So you have a car, and it's your car, and you could go. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then would Rebecca come with you, or would you go by yourself?
I take Rebecca.
Okay. So now you're both together. You're driving in the car, and you're going to drive there, and then just let yourself look at the whole thing. Like to drive back and forth, you'd stay for a certain amount of time, and whatever that would be. Do you have a friend you would stay with, or would you rent a place, or would you camp, or what would you do if you went?
We'd probably visit our friend.
Okay, and you could stay there,
yeah.
Kind of a thing, right? Okay, all right. So now look at it again, and bring everything into it, the drive, the whole thing, and then just see what color pops up.
I got like pink.
Okay.
That's like the first color.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so that means that to go there as a trip with your sister would be fun, right?
Yeah.
And now notice this, watch this. Now imagine going by yourself and flying there. And look at what color it is.
Bluish gray?
Uh-huh. A darker color,
Yeah.
right? Not clear, not bright. Yeah, so this shows you that you can see yourself exactly what the outcome would be without having to go anywhere.
Wow.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now that isn't it cool? I know, it's super cool. It saves so much time and energy and effort, and then your life just goes perfectly, and people are like, well, your life is always perfect, and it's just because you're paying attention. You're just going, yeah, I know. Okay, so now you've seen these different energies, and you can see easily and clearly that it would be that different choices have different outcomes. But when you look at this, like to me, when I look at it, the most fun outcome I see is the pink one. I could see the two of you driving to California, spending time, driving back, and you'd have a really good time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now that you know that that's something that you could do, then you can release any energy around it because you could do that. It's really not that big of a deal, is it?
Yeah, it's totally doable.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And it's the perfect thing. You know you're not going to fly because you'll want to drive with your sister, and you know that you'll have a really fun time. Now you don't have to think, oh, I can't have that. Well, of course you can have that. If you want it, if it's what you want to do, you can have it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the beautiful thing. You can, and this is really fun, but try this out. Imagine yourself, both of you try this will be really fun for you. Imagine yourself taking that pink trip, because every possibility already exists. So this is like a game. That trip already exists, right? You can take it physically, or you could take it in your mind. You could literally travel in your mind on that trip. And think about it. If you were to have had a trip, let's say you go together for 2 weeks, you come home, and you're thinking about your trip. You can't remember every single moment of it, can you? You just remember little flashes of an experience, correct?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So now what you're going to do is both of you go into your imagination. Imagine taking the trip, the pink trip. And you're going to get in the car, and you're off, and there'll be these moments on the trip, and you'll remember this and that and whatever, right? And then you're going to imagine the fun things you do. You might camp, you might, whatever you think you would do, just kind of imagine let the trip show you. Just imagine you're watching a movie play out. And then you see yourself going through the movie of your trip, and then you're coming back home, and you've had a great time. Maybe you sit at the kitchen table and you're telling your mom and your dad all about your trip, right? So let yourself just follow the trip. Okay? Let me know when you're done.
I think I'm good. Yeah.
Okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, how do you feel about California now that you've taken the trip?
I feel like it's good to see it again, but it's good to see it again, but it's like that super deep need to, like, just seeing it again is enough, you know? And then it's like, I don't know, I feel like it's like, oh, I can take a deep breath. It's like, okay, I saw it.
Yeah.
Saw it again.
Yeah, right? And because you've come back home now, you don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to go right away because I just took the trip. Right?
Yeah.
I just came back. Like, if you just got home from that trip, would you be like planning it out, or would you be like, oh, it was such a great time, but you wouldn't be like, oh, I got to go tomorrow, I've got to leave, or next week I've got to set it up. You're kind of like, yeah, that was fabulous, but I don't have to go back now because I just went. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Notice that your mind can do that without you ever going anywhere. And notice that your physical body right now, so think about taking a trip to California now. How does it feel?
I'd say neutral, or like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I had a fun time. I already had a fun time. I had this great experience. And why are you neutral? Because you're neutral because you just took the trip. Right? Isn't that how you'd feel?
Yeah.
You'd come home from a wonderful trip, and you'd say, well, how do you feel about going back to California? Well, I feel neutral about it because I just came home. Now,
Yeah.
keep going here. How do you feel about just staying home? What pops into your mind now? How does it feel to just stay home?
Feels good. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, neutral and light. Just good.
Uh-huh.
I do need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a relief. I don't have to go back and get in the car again and go drive back to California, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love
Do you know
that.
do you want to know something? That's the first time I've ever done that. That just came to me as we were talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. The phone cut out. What was that?
Oh, I said that's the first time I've ever done that. That's the first time that just came to me while we were talking, to have you actually take the trip. Like, I've seen not to go, like I've seen what I talked about where I'd look at Bali and be like, no, right? And but I've never actually taken a trip like that. That's the first time that came to me to do that, just to go take the trip. Go take it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this is what'll happen when you're doing sessions. You're going to find that things will just pop in, and you'll go, oh, what a great idea, let's do that. And then we just did it. But it's really interesting because right now, look how different you feel now, Audra, compared to how you felt, let's say, yesterday when you were feeling kind of homesick. Right? You have a whole different feeling. You actually feel, not just think, but you feel at home right now, don't you?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what a fun, trippy game you're playing. And basically, what's happened for me is because I wrote the book, which is why I'm telling you, keep listening to it, because it will sink in. Well, it sunk in for me because I was writing it. And the more that you realize that, so what I did without meaning to was I literally tapped into the back door of the game. This is a backdoor thing that you just did. Like, who knows this? Who teaches this? Like, nobody. Like, what they teach you is, oh, visualize, and then go take the trip, right? You just visualize it until it happens. But instead, you've used that ability to go see it, have the experience, come back home, and hi, girls.
Oh, hey, sorry about that.
I don't know what happened. The call cut out on me too. Do you remember what I was saying when it cut out?
Oh yeah. Okay, Rebecca took a note. It was how visualize, experience, and then come back home.
Oh yeah, right. So nobody teaches that. Do you realize that? Everyone teaches, oh yeah, visualize, then you get the car, or you get the relationship, or you get the trip to wherever or whatever, right? And so this is what is the back door, is you can take the whole trip and never have to leave home. Sort of like Wizard of Oz, she never left home. And you can just take that whole trip and not worry about it. Like and be like, cool. I mean, think about it. We're sitting here in this this whole lockdown silliness, right? And you just took an incredible 2-week trip and never had to leave home, and you're like happier now than you were before you did the trip in your mind, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I can do. And so think about it. You can go anywhere like this. And how great is that, Rebecca, for being a writer? That you can just go take a trip anywhere. That's how I wrote the story. That's how the Inner Earth came to be. I would just go and write what I saw. I would just go, okay, let's go. Let's go to the Inner Earth. What does it look like? Ooh, wow, yeah, right? Yeah. So you can go really fun places. You don't have to limit yourself to California. You can go to other civilizations. You can go totally galactic, which is where we're headed anyhow. So
wow.
That's what's happening right now, as a matter of fact. So Earth is literally 5D, and everybody has the ability to be in that 5D energy, which is what you're experiencing as we're talking. That's 5D, where you can just see it. Like you're just watching a timeline that already exists, right? And so
Yeah.
so what's happening is you have this unique ability, I mean really unique, because almost I would say that like nobody your age knows how to do this. No kidding, because if I haven't taught them, they don't know how to do it. It's pretty much what it boils down to. So it's kind of like this. You have this unique ability to play the game by going into the programming of it. Like you're learning how to go into the back door of the program. So the program is set up to show you whatever you believe, right? So if you're feeling depressed, you have more things surrounding you and more things happening that have you go, oh, that's right, I'm right about being depressed, right? Whatever it is. And so that's one level of playing the game, is where it seems like the game is playing you. It's like going asleep and having a dream, and the dream is just whatever it is, right? And you don't know you're dreaming until you wake up and go, oh, I had a dream. But you don't normally wake up in the dream, right? Yeah. And you might. You two might have had the experience of waking up in a dream. And I talk about that in the game book. That was actually something that happened to me, which was just where I fell asleep and then I woke up in the dream. And I walked up and I knew for a fact the table wasn't there. And I knocked on the table and it acted just like a table.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, I know for a fact it's not here, and it's solid, and it's acting like a table, and everything around me is acting the way it's supposed to behave, right? Okay. So what you're basically in the process of learning right now is, so that's how the old game is played, the way that people, they get born and their brains are programmed to believe a certain way, and so you have these experiences and you get stuck in it, right? So you both have learned how to unstick yourselves, right? It doesn't feel sticky anymore, does it? Like, look back a year ago. Were you stuck a year ago or 2 years ago?
Very. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So now it's not sticky. It doesn't feel sticky, and you can really see that just from what we just did. All of a sudden, all that stickiness is gone. And you're totally where you're at by choice, right?
Yeah.
And you're feeling supported in your choice. Like it feels good to be there. And probably, I'm going to say, probably better than it's ever felt before. Because you've now let yourself take a trip to California, and you know that you can just do it. You could just sit there and spend 15 minutes going to California and coming back, and you're perfectly happy to be home.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, how many people know how to do that? So, and we just came up with that. We just came up with that ourselves, which is so exciting. So that's a co-creation. Like you came up with a thought, and then the piece fell in. So this is what's going to happen for you both, because this is what happens when you get past the mind chattering, right? So the mind usually chatters na 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 da 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 and blah 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 blah, and then you can't see this stuff because your mind is so busy giving you a narrative, right? When the mind stops doing that because you keep telling it, all is well, I love you, I love you, I love you, right? Then all of a sudden you can actually create. And notice this, you didn't create for the benefit of others. So the benefit of others would be, okay, I visualized this car, and then it came to me, and see what I created, right? You did something so much more powerful, because a person who does that, in general, they create that, and they're like, oh, and I visualized, and I saw it, and then they've got all the bills that go with it, they've got all the insurance that goes with the car, you know what I mean, all this other stuff that goes with it, or you buy a house, this is the house of my dreams, and then for most people, they have the experience of paying mortgage. Are you girls still there? Did you go away and come back? There was a ding. I don't know how that that happened. Hi. Were you gone?
Hi. Oh, like it all of a sudden went dead again. I was like, so I called again.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, go back and listen to this, because I was just telling you guys this. some stuff that happily is recorded because I always am like, people go, what'd you just say? And I'm like, I have no idea. So, but I don't know what the heck is going on with that line. It's weird because it did it to both of us. So anyhow, so come back and listen to this, and it'll explain it. But basically what I was kind of saying is that there's two ways you can do this. When you visualize and you feel it. Notice that the more that you could feel yourself going on the trip, the more satisfying the trip felt when you got home. Okay?
Oh, I see.
Yeah. The more you felt what it would feel like to be there, you could smell the trees, and you feel it, and you feel being with your friend, and you feel all the fun you would have, and you might see these moments of camping out in the campfire and, all that stuff. The more that you let yourself go into the feeling of being there, along with the visualization of it, the more satisfied you feel at the end of the trip, right?
Yeah, because it's like it is the experience. Yeah,
it's right. And so what I was just saying more or less is that you're actually learning to do something that nobody teaches that. If you go and you listen to like The Secret and how they talk about visualization, they talk about the attainment of something, like you're going to attain a car, or you're going to attain a house or a relationship, right? Mm-hmm. And then depending on how good you are at doing it, you get that thing that you want. But what they never tell you is it's just like a movie. When you watch the movies and you see this romantic relationship and they end up together or they get married or whatever, but it never goes beyond that. It just stays in that fantasy place. But everybody knows that once you get married, then you have a whole new set of problems, right? Or whatever. You have the baby, they got another set of problems. Well, what's really a beautiful thing, and this is all, by the way, just coming to me as we're talking. So I want you to try something else. I'd like both of you to imagine the man of your dreams. So whatever that man would be like. Okay? And you get to be, he could be as fabulous as you want. Handsome, all of it. Okay?
Okay.
All right? Okay. Now, there is a timeline which will be as perfect as you want it to be. So you don't have to be like, well, it wouldn't be that good because, relationships aren't really like that. It could be just as perfect as you want it to be, because there will, every possibility already exists. So this isn't out in the future. It's here right now. You can tap into it right now. Now, can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Okay. So now I want you, so the more fun you have with this, the more you imagine it, the more you feel it. So just imagine going on a date with this guy. Imagine it like a whole lifetime of, not maybe a lifetime, but just like, how you would imagine it. You meet, and the thing is, what you want to do is let go of any belief that, oh, but this wouldn't really happen, because, and get this, it already has happened. It already exists. So you don't want your left brain to participate at all. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So imagine this perfect guy. Imagine him, I'm just going to guess on some things that you would probably want. What it would feel like to be with this perfect man who loves you the way you love him, and it's just a very mutually loving relationship, and all this kind of love and appreciation for you. And let yourself just go forward on this journey so that you can go as far as you want into it. So each of you are going to have your own journey here, and it can be however much into the future you want to take it, right? So you might take it in a month, it might go a year, it might go several years. It can be anything you want. Just follow it just the way you did with the car, okay? But you're just going to follow through this, and you're just going to look at that timeline, and you're just looking at a timeline. which you may or may not choose in the future, but it's just, you're just going to go in and you're going to play in that timeline. Okay?
Okay.
And let yourself feel it. Feel what it feels like to have this really loving, wonderful relationship. Go as far as you want to go. And then when you both feel that you have felt it, imagine wherever he's at. So he is, he's maybe at your home, or he's at his home, but you're going to get together later for a date or whatever it is. He's just not with you in this moment, but you're just thinking about him, like, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky. I've got this guy and I love him so much. He's so amazing. And but there's like a different feeling you have when you know that he's real and he's there, that you can have these like sweet, lovely thoughts. And at the same time, you can be home with your sister and not feel like, oh, something's missing. Like, when you've been in a relationship for a while and it's just, and you're happy to be home with your mom and your sister, and he's there and you love him and it's great, but you don't feel like the need to rush home because you always have each other. Right?
Yeah.
Now, can you both imagine that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you're home. And you can see him anytime. Anytime you just happen to be home having lunch with your sister and your mom, and you're having a great time. But as soon as you want, you can go home to him. How do you feel? And each of you take a moment to tell me how you feel in this moment, knowing that you already have this relationship, and you've already, and it just has. There's like a feeling to it that occurs in a natural way, right? There's like a feeling that, hold on just 1 second. Okay, sorry. This is really off topic, girls, but there's some serious energy stuff going on, and I was sitting on my bed and I just laid on my side, and all of a sudden the whole room was like spinning, and I literally can go, stop. And it'll stop. It'll cut out. And I'm like, but I sat up just to be on the safe side. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to lay down like that again for a while. So, okay, I'm back though. So I'm sitting up. So now go back into this. Now you're just here with your sister, but you each know that you have your beloved. They're at home, and you're just visiting with each other, right? So there's no lack. There's no, oh, where's my beloved? You already know he's at home, okay? And that you live together and you have this amazing life together, whatever you've created, whatever you've said, because all possibilities already exist. So now, how do you feel? And I want you to talk one at a time. Audra, will start with you. How do you feel at home knowing that you can go home to him anytime?
I feel like calm, but happy and really content and just grateful for him and also my family, for all the abundant love.
Yeah. Okay, now let yourself look at this. So see how that feels. See how it would feel if you just had him, but you didn't have your family. And you didn't have anyone to go home to. What color pops into your head?
Again, I think like a darker gray. Yeah, darker gray.
And so, right? Because so in other words, it's not the same, is it? It's not the same to not have your family. Like when you're thinking someone's out there and you've got to find them and you need to go live with them, and think about it. You could meet the perfect guy and he could be in the military and you could be around the world, you couldn't go home in order to be with him, right? That wouldn't feel so great. Like you think, oh, I really want this. And if I just had this, and then I would be so happy, and right? But then all these things can come up that make you feel not so happy about it because, oh, but I love him and I feel torn, right? You can see that.
Yeah.
That possibility,
yeah.
Right? Okay. So notice that what you're creating right now, what you're saying yes to right now, is someone who, it's something where you can have the best of both worlds. You don't have to choose. But notice how much more you appreciate your family right now because you're not in Indonesia or, like in some base in Germany or something, right? Where you're like, yes, I got my beloved, but I'm not with my sister and I'm not with my family. And how does that feel, right?
Yeah.
And so now, go ahead.
It wouldn't be the same. Yeah.
No, right? Exactly. It wouldn't be the same. So now, let yourself appreciate what you're feeling now. Just really feel into it. And both of you do this. Just appreciate this feeling. And notice how much you appreciate your sister and your family right now in a way that you didn't just a few minutes ago. And it's not that you don't love them. It's not that you don't love your family. You just never thought about what would it be like if I didn't have that. Right? You just think, oh, I just want my beloved. That's all I want. And you never think about that getting your beloved, this thing that this person that you think you want, could end up with you not having this other thing that is obviously extremely important to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be there together. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now, okay. Now feel into this. Notice that this feeling that you have right now has completely replaced the old feeling of lack of a boyfriend, lack of my beloved, he's missing. Can you feel the difference?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Right? How about you, Rebecca? What was your experience of this?
I'm feeling like really relaxed. Very relaxed.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Just
like nothing's missing.
Yeah, lovingly detached, I guess.
Yep. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And that's so look, you've already got that feeling and you can come back to this feeling any time. All you have to do is get really present with who you're with, right? With your sister or your family or whatever. And any time you feel like something's missing, you just go, no, he's right here. I know he is. I can go home to him anytime. Just like I can go back to California anytime. Because the truth is you can. Right?
Yeah, this is really cool.
I know. I'm having a great time because I've never done this before. Like literally, this is just getting fed to me as we're talking. I'm just sitting here bringing it in and telling you.
Oh.
Right?
Let's do it.
But the thing is, yeah, right? But the cool thing is, now here's the difference. See, when most people are in their imagination, they think, well, I just made that up. It doesn't mean anything. But you see, you two are actually having the experience. Because that is your ability to image. And that's the thing that, see, you know how they talk about the brain, that we only use 10% of our brain? Well, that's because people have been programmed just to use the left brain. The left brain goes into the past and the future, and it freaks out because it was never meant to focus on the past and future. It's meant to focus in the present moment, right? The other 90% is your imagination. That's where everything happens. That's where everything gets created. That's where everything that's going to happen is in your imagination. And so what people have done mainly is use their imagination to their detriment. So they get a sore throat and they imagine getting a cold, and what happens? They get a cold. Or you could have a sore throat and go and think, okay, I'm going to get ginger, garlic, I'm going to make a tea, I'm going to have some honey, I'll be fine by tomorrow. And what happens? You're fine by tomorrow. Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
wow.
So what you're learning how to do right now is how to play the game in a way that nobody's ever learned how to play it before. And that's because you're going into the back door of the program. And instead of playing it the way everybody else plays it, you're going into the back door. You're picking a timeline. You're seeing it. You're feeling it. You're coming home and you're going, it's still here. I can still feel it. It's because it exists and you chose it. It isn't something you made up because you can't make anything up. So think about the mind of God. It created every possibility already exists. There's nothing you can think up that God did not think up first. How cool is that? So that timeline that you just took exists. You just took the timeline. And then you know how it feels to be home and be perfectly content and at peace. And notice notice how there's no lack of self-worth in this timeline. Right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I didn't notice that before, but that's awesome. Yeah, it felt really just natural and good. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep. So that's the kind of fun that you not only are going to get to experience, but think about this, what you just learned how to do, and notice that you still get the feeling. The feeling doesn't go away unless you say so. The feeling doesn't go anywhere. Right?
Yeah.
You can still feel it. It's not like, because it's your reality. You're creating it. And what most people don't understand is because they're so busy creating a dysfunctional reality, they don't realize that they can create something that's full of love and light. And it doesn't, it exists. Like it exists. You know that already exists. And the more that you just know that, and notice that you're not knowing it or feeling it because you're trying to get to it. It already exists. You already know it's there. Now, not everybody can do that. That takes willingness, and it takes imagination. It takes your ability to hang out and use your 90% of your brain instead of just the 10%, right?
Yeah, because it's like that, allowing yourself to use your imagination without that, I guess, the monkey mind, but it's like totally, I don't know, totally awesome.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And the beautiful outcome is that in the here and now, just like you felt perfectly fine to be home and not need to go anywhere because you just took the trip, you feel perfectly fine being home with your sister and your mom because you know that this beloved is right there. You don't have to go anywhere. You can literally go and see him. Like you could literally be sitting in your room and go, I really just want to spend some time with him. And guess what? You could absolutely go do that and have the feeling of it, right? And have the feeling of it like, oh my gosh, I'm really not limited from him. Like I can really go into that timeline and spend time with this man that I love who loves me.
Well,
and you
awesome.
never, ever have to feel that you need to find somebody.
Yeah, wow. That's so sweet.
I know. Okay. Isn't that sweet and trippy?
Yeah.
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 And so now just look at your energy, look at how you feel, and look at how it's yours. It doesn't go anywhere unless you say so. It's like it's yours. And you can make that feeling go deeper to the extent that you want, or you can be perfectly happy with right where it is. Okay, so now look at your home again, and look at being at home. And Rebecca, tell me, what color do you see about being at home and with your mom and your sister and your dad and all that? What color do you see?
The word emerald popped up, so I guess emerald. So just very healing. Like I feel like this is a very healing time as a family, you know.
Yeah.
And we're just really connected.
Yeah. Well, and emerald is the heart chakra.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's the heart, expansion of the heart. And the fact that it's an emerald, that's really interesting because look at the color. Is it a solid color or does it look like an emerald where you're looking through it and it's like, the way that you actually would look at it, imagine a real emerald. Does it look more like that or does it just look like the color of emerald?
I'm just getting the color of emerald.
Okay. And when you look at that color, is it solid looking or does it have life to it?
It's got a little glow.
Yeah. Right? And so now just imagine that and not let that glow really take off. Like don't limit the color because your mind limited the color. So don't let your mind limit it. Look at the color. Look at how you feel. Let the color show you what you feel. So it may not just be a color. It may have sparkles. It may have anything going on. So see what it shows you.
I actually saw the color just kind of like turn more like bright and then kind of like a blue, like a bright blue.
Nice.
It's kind of weird, but
yeah. Well, the blue is the second. Well, it depends on what color blue it is. But it can. Is it more of an indigo blue that it turned, or is it more of a regular blue?
I saw kind of like a bright blue. Like the blue sky kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be like your throat chakra. So it went from the heart up to the throat. Right?
Yeah.
So that's your ability, and guess what? That's healing your ability to speak.
Oh, wow. Well, that's the thing, Heather, because it's like...
Go ahead.
Okay. It's like,
yeah.
So you know how we had talked about, seeing life as perfect and stuff?
Uh-huh.
Well, this move was perfect, and a couple of years ago, while we were still in high school, my dad got cancer, and at that time it felt like really, really tough. It was like really scary, but looking back, my mom was saying, she's like, he was so ingrained in the system of what was going on that we were, and so removed from the family, like we didn't really have we didn't really know each other, and that nothing would have pulled him out of the system unless he had that, and he's doing very well, and he transformed his mind. It's amazing, but it's like perfect, and I feel like I actually have the ability to know my dad and actually speak myself, that's interesting. So wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
So we have the green is the healing of the heart, and then the energy moves up to the throat, which is the healing of communication. Now imagine this. Imagine the energy moving up. So as that energy, notice this is just all taking place in your body. Your body is your biocomputer. That's how you're playing the game. You're in the computer that's creating the game. Every thought and feeling you have, as you've learned from listening to the story of the game, those thoughts and feelings are turning the binary code on and off, right? Fear or love, on and off, on and off. That's your computer. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so now what you've done, what you both have been doing, is you've just been going love, 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 and now you are literally feeling it, right?
Wow.
You're not thinking about it, you're feeling it, right?
Yeah.
So let me tell you something. You continue doing this, you continue feeling this, and you will feel everything into existence. You're already doing it because you can already feel it, right? It already feels like this man is already there because he is. It's just like a dream. Imagine when you dream, you could dream about the most wonderful man, and then you would be so sad because you'd wake up and go, oh, shit, he's not here, right? But the truth is, when you wake up, you have a reality, and here's the funny thing: you could go back into the dream, right? You could go back to sleep, and that guy could be in your dream again, right? You don't know. It's just that you feel like the dream just does what it wants to do, right? But the truth is, if you consistently feel the way you're feeling right now, that feeling of love and peace and all is well, and I'm so grateful to be right where I am right now. I don't need to be anyplace else, and everything that I want or need or would love to have is already there for me whenever I go home. Right? So I can be at this home, I can go back to that home, I can be sitting right where I'm at now and go home. I could go home and see my, the ranch where I have my horses and my husband. I might have children. I don't know. Whatever you want, whatever you choose, there is a reality that already exists. Right? Now, here's the funny thing. If you keep feeling that way and you just stay in that place of love and you just stick with it, the game itself will mirror back to you what you say is so. It has to. It doesn't have a choice. So now when you compare how you feel now to how you felt a few days ago, maybe let's go back a few weeks since you've been doing the giving game. But let's go back a little bit to where you felt kind of like something was missing, whenever that was, like this man is missing and I don't know, and when will I find my love? Look at that energy. Let yourself just observe what that felt like. And compare that to how you feel right now, right? And notice what each belief, what each way of feeling would create. Okay? So, can you see that?
Yeah.
Right? So look at the old feeling just quickly, and you're just going to observe it, so you're not going to throw yourself into it, but just observe it. So each of you take a look at the old feeling you had about not having a man in your life. Okay? And now follow that energy and see what would happen if you're on. So it's a timeline. So if you did not change that feeling of this man isn't here and I don't know and whatever that is, let yourself just follow that timeline. Just observe it. And Rebecca, why don't you tell me? You're just going to make it up. So it's just like a storytelling thing. You're just going to make it up. What would happen in that timeline if you had that? That's your what we'll call the causal seed. So that's the seed that you've planted into the subconscious. Is I'm lonely, not enough, can't find the right guy, whatever, and whatever that belief was. Just follow that timeline and see where it takes you.
Immediately it's like he'll never be here if I believe that he won't, and he's not. I feel like I would see the kind of guy I'd like, but with other people, but it would never be with me, you know what I'm saying? It'll be I'd see it, but it would be unattainable, so it would never ever show up, and then I just feel like crap, and then it would be it would just reiterate my own belief of, oh nope, he's not here, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Right? Okay, now take the timeline that you've just created. This feeling, just get right into this feeling of this love and this contentment and this gratitude for being with your family and being able to go home to this man at any time, and follow that feeling. And what do you see?
It just feels really comfortable and freeing. This is, I already know, right now this is where I'm meant to be. And then not just, this feeling just drives home. Yes, I'm supposed to be here. I'm choosing to be home, and I love it, and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But here's what I want to show you. That feeling in your heart of being in love with a man and someone that you really love. Can you imagine that if you kept feeling that way, that an actual person would show up for you?
Yeah, I can believe that. Yeah, she's looking at me and nodding.
There's no question about it. The only thing that would doubt that is if your left brain gets involved. But if you really think about what I'm telling you, you cannot possibly stay in this feeling of love and contentment, and I already have my beloved, And if this is a game, which it is, and you're the biocomputer must show you what you believe to be so. Right?
Yeah.
It has to. It doesn't have a choice. If you're just doing love, 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 and not going love, fear, 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 love, fear, 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 love, 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 fear, 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 right? If you're just doing love, 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 it has to show you that. It doesn't have a choice. The program is set up to show you what you are feeling and believing in. It is set up to show you. Has it not shown you that about everything that you didn't want? Everything that you don't want to experience, all that stuff that you were focused on, it showed you more of it, right? It was like, oh, sure, I'll show you more of that. You don't, that you believe that you're not worthy of love. Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that game. That's fine. Let's do it. Let's go, right?
Yeah.
It did it, didn't it? Didn't the program do it? Didn't it show you the timeline that absolutely showed you what you said is so, that you got to be right?
Yeah.
Okay, so look, if it does that on the negative side, it has to do it on the positive side, because the program actually does not understand right and wrong, good and bad, positive, negative. It doesn't know that. It just knows what you feel. Correct? You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And then it shows you, it mirrors back to you, this is what you're feeling. And why does it do that? Because it's a game. And you don't know you're playing a game. And it's the most advanced game in the universe. You know who Elon Musk is? Do you know who he is? Elon Musk? Tesla guy, the guy that owns Tesla. Okay, so he's a big, smarty pants, rich guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He totally believes, and there are many very intelligent people who believe that this is a virtual reality that we're in. Now, the difference is that they think it's outside of you and that you're playing in this this created reality, I guess you could say, like that there's this reality that's created and you're playing, you're in it. But what I'm telling you is that every person here is creating their own reality, and your body is the thing that does it. Right?
Wow.
So you're playing the game. Yeah, you're born into the game. So if you were the most amazing, so you're God, and you're creating the most amazing game ever created in the universe. For you to not know that, the only way that you could play the game and have the highest level experience is to have no idea you're playing the game, that you're born into it, that you don't know it's a game. Wouldn't that be the highest, most challenging level of a game you can imagine?
Totally. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the game you're playing right now. That's why I can take you into potential timelines, and you can have the experience without ever going there. So imagine this. So you've had this trip to California, and you've already done it, and you've had the pink trip, and you went with your sister, and you're home, and you're happy. But do you think that if you hold that feeling, and then there's a time when you really would like to go, do you feel like it would happen with ease?
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Like there's no question. And that you would come home, like if in your visualization of it, if you came home whenever you were ready, everyone goes, I took a trip for 2 weeks, so that's just a construct. Well, I only have 2 weeks because I have to get back to work. But say that you could stay as long as you wanted. You could come back whenever you were ready, right? Do you think if you felt that way, that you came back when you were ready to come home and it felt good to come home, and that at any time you could go take that trip? It'd be a new and different kind of trip, but you could still take that trip whenever you felt like it. Do you feel that trip, and you could stay as long as you want, come back when you're ready, do you feel that trip would materialize with ease and grace?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so if you know that about a trip, wouldn't it be the same for a man?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, because you can't keep feeling that and not experience it. What you've been watching growing up is you've been watching people feeling what they don't want into existence. Your dad felt cancer into existence. I promise you that whatever has brought on cancer, which is one of the things often connected to cancer, and not to take this down that rabbit hole, but just so you know, it can often be a feeling of resentment that the person never lets go of. And it could be a parent, it could be anything. And it wouldn't necessarily be something they talked about, but resentment is often connected to cancer.
Yeah,
okay?
That makes total sense. Yeah.
Okay. So what I want to say is your dad felt it into existence before it came. The cancer comes up to get your attention. So physical ailments and accidents and things come up to try to bring the player's attention to this part of the game. So if your dad was really open-minded and really wanted to heal himself, he might go and look into this and go, oh, I really want to heal this feeling of resentment. I'm willing, he would be doing the giving game. He would, but everyone has their own experience. Like you don't have to educate anybody. If someone's ready, they will. Like there's this saying that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right? So if your dad doesn't ask, then it means he either doesn't want to know or he's not ready. And then, so it's none of your business how he plays his game. And you keep in mind that he is immortal, just like you are. Your dad will never die. You're going to play the game of death. Everyone plays that someone died game, but I promise you, your dad, okay, I'm going to take you on one more little trip. Ready? So does your dad is your dad still dealing with cancer right now?
He's on medication, but he's close to being done. He's healing from his medications, but the cancer, what they've seen, is gone inside him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but on a scale of 1 to 100, how much fear do you have around your dad dying? And I want you each to tell me what the first number is that pops into your head.
Like right now, or when he first?
No, right now. Right now. No, right now.
Go ahead. Gosh, this is, I don't know. Like a really no.
Wait. Let a number pop into your head. Don't try to figure it out. Let a number pop into your head.
Like 4%.
4%. Okay. And how about, I don't know who, I can't tell the difference between your voices, so you have to tell me. It's okay. So what's that?
So that was Rebecca with the 40%.
4%. Okay, and what do you get?
So I got 30 or 3.
Okay.
I guess 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. It doesn't matter what the number is. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something else. All right. So we're going to take this timeline for a moment, and I want you to see your dad passing on, whenever that is, whether it's near or far or whatever it is, but just see him passing on. But this time you're not going to look at his body, you're going to look at him, because your dad is not his body, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So what I'd like you to do is follow the timeline where he leaves his body and he goes back to the other side, and see, what does he look like when he gets back to the other side?
Okay, I see a smiling little boy.
Okay. And who was that? Was that Audra or Rebecca? Who? Okay. Anyhow, Audra. The other twin. Who was it? Yeah. So Rebecca, what do you see?
I just saw him just younger and laughing with relatives and other people that had passed on already.
Yeah. Right? So now you know. Your dad will never die. You will never die. And from the perspective of the other side, and this is really interesting, when you are born, from the other side's perspective, it's like you die from the other side to be born here. But they don't believe in death, so they just know that you're showing up here. They're like, okay, have a great trip. We'll see you when you get back, right? See you when you get back. Can you see that? Go to the other side for a minute before your dad was born. And see people saying, have fun on your trip or whatever. Just see if you can't feel the joy of it and the excitement of going and you're going to play the game again, right? See if you can see what kind of little celebration takes place there. What do you see?
Okay, so this is Audra. I see a lot of bright light and people calling happy, like you said, see you when you get back, have fun, and it's like this. It's kind of like it's like a I don't know if this is the right words, but like a going away party.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it exactly. Right?
Whoa. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. So now, Rebecca, what did you see?
Well, I never really thought about it until our conversation, but it hit me that I was probably there while my parents left for, and I was probably like, hey, bye, guys. I'm going to surprise you with a twin in a couple decades. Have fun.
Right. Exactly. You would have been there. That's exactly right. You would have been there. You would have been a part of the party. Okay? You see it?
Yeah. Wow.
All right.
Well,
okay. Okay, so wait for it. These are all timelines that already exist, right? Everything exists already. So now I want you both to imagine yourselves when you die, you go back to the other side, and who's waiting for you?
Okay, this is Audra. Everybody, like my grandparents, my family, people I probably knew here.
Right?
Yeah.
So imagine your dad is there too, and imagine what's he look like when you come back. When you come back, because you've had your celebration exit party, right? To come to Earth and play the game, and now you're coming back to your pod. It's a pod that you play this game with, isn't it?
Mhm.
Okay, so now you're going back, and now look at your dad. What does he look like?
Okay, I see golden light, but he's in a body though. But it's him grown up, but he's healthy and happy and smiling and perfectly, like, just in perfect everything, perfect condition. And
that's right. That's right. Can you both see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So now look at how that feels in your body right now. How does it feel?
Like a lightness, it's okay, done deal, like release. Yeah, release. Yeah. In a good we don't have to say goodbye kind of way.
You don't have to say goodbye. There's no loss. The only loss you can possibly experience is your belief in loss, right? But when you think about it, your dad, would you ever not want someone to get to go whenever it is that they're ready to go, when that's what's on the other side? Would you be like, no, you need to suffer longer, you need to take more medication, you need to, you're going to completely love them just the way they are, and whenever they choose to leave, you're going to love that as well. And you can see that is a timeline that you can take right now, where you already see the outcome. If you already know what's going to happen, then you don't panic about anything, do you?
No, because you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now you know. And when you know, you know. And does your body, right now, know this to be so?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like this.
Yeah, right? No question. No question about it, right?
Wow. Yeah, any fear just, I think I didn't realize how much, I know that the soul is immortal, because in this, in spirituality, I know that, but just hearing you say that he will never die, I don't know, for some reason it clicked. I'm like, I had this spiritual versus, you do pass on, it's like, but I don't know, it clicked. I'm like, whoa. So I realized there was some it let go of this fear that I didn't realize I was carrying. So, wow, I'm just amazed.
I feel like my lower stomach.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is the thing. What we've done today, including that, I've never done that with anybody before. Like, all this was just shown to me as we're talking, just for you. Right?
Wow. You. Right.
Yeah. So now, don't underestimate yourself. When I tell you that you can do mentoring, when you can help others, and you know, there's a very limited amount of people that I can work with one-on-one. So if you've been chosen to do this, which, believe me, I didn't think that up. That was told to me, like, Heather, these girls, and you're going to work. I'm like, okay, great. You know, I'm like the ultimate cosmic yes man. You know, I go, okay, all right, great, sounds good. You know, but I don't think this stuff up, right? I'm just like minding my own business, living my life, and then I get told stuff, and I go, okay, okay, I'll write the book. Okay, I'll do an audiobook. Okay, I'll make it into a game, and I'll spend $10,000, and yes, everything will be for free. I go, okay, right? So I want you to know that if either of you ever have the belief that you're not enough, or you're whatever old patterning that you've been carrying around, I would like you to remember this, okay? That you're talking to me, and I know what I'm talking about, and very few people on the earth plane are going to get to have this experience. So you can absolutely right now just do this. Drop anything that you're carrying that says you're not enough. Just let it go, because you would not have been chosen for me to do this with you. And here's the funny thing. Okay, let's go back to before you were born. Again, back to those celebrations when someone's leaving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see yourselves with me and Amelia there?
Yes.
Yeah, like no question. And we already picked this timeline, didn't we?
It was fated, I swear.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? I mean, think about it. You had to have known, because how did you trigger it? Do you realize that you both triggered this happening? And you know how you did it?
How?
You did the giving game, and what did you do? You wrote me a letter.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right? And it was the letter that triggered it. I wouldn't have known you were there. I wouldn't have known about you. And you said, and look at the other side. Now go to the other side and look at us all agreeing how you were going to trigger it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. And then you're going to do the giving game, and then you're both going to write me a letter, and I'm going to get that letter, and then it'll go ding ding ding. Right? Look at us agreeing that. I got big chills as I tell you that. Like, we agreed that that's how you were going to do it.
Wow. That is so
right?
amazing. Yeah.
I know. So now when I tell you you're playing a game, now you're going to be a lot more excited to go back and listen to the game now, aren't you? Like when I say go listen to the game audiobook, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I've got to go listen now. Oh my gosh, right? Because all the stuff that we're talking about got triggered in me by writing the book.
Wow.
And then it got triggered in me again but notice this, it's written in second person. But understand this, I had to narrate it in second person, which means not only do I listen to it, but I had to speak it. And while I was doing that, every time that I would talk, every time I would narrate, I would bring in my angelic team, my nature team, and I'd say, bring the vibration through my voice. Bring it through me. So now when you listen a little differently, because you've got this, there's a frequency, there's a vibration in it. Okay?
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. So now are we having fun now, girls? Are we having fun?
Yeah, my mind is like, I'm like, whoa.
I know. It's like all the stuff that we make so serious, not serious, none of it. We just, you can create that, but it's not serious. And the more that you're giggling and having fun and you're like, oh my God, like when you know that you can never lose anybody that you love, ever, and that you can, so well, let yourself see this too. If you so choose, while you're here, imagine your father has, gone on, right? Notice how easily you can talk to him, that you can easily communicate with him and see him, and he's just like so healthy, so happy, and so delighted to communicate with you, because not many people on the earth plane know that they can communicate easily with their relatives and friends on the other side. Can you see yourself easily communicating with him so that it's like he's right there in the room with you?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. Like there's nothing to lose, because so if you understand that God is love, that everything in the universe is energy. You both know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that energy is not defined by science. They just say everything is energy. But what I want to tell you is that energy is love. So there is nothing but love. And what you've just learned in this session today is that all you do is align yourself with love, and you experience it. And so you can play this game with pure joy.
Wow.
Right?
That's exciting.
Because I know. And remember how the Course in Miracles, now look how this is going to have a whole nother meaning to you now. The Course in Miracles says, you either learn through love or fear. If you learn through love, your lessons will be joyful. If you learn through fear, your lessons will be painful. Either way, you're going to learn. Right? So what you did today was you learned through love, and look how joyful you feel.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And guess what? You can learn all the time through joy by constantly choosing love.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, this is
yeah, right?
For me.
Yeah. So look, I'll give you this audio, and if you remind me to do this, I will also download it as an MP3, and I'll try to figure out a way to send it to you. Or what I might do, actually the easiest thing, because I want you to keep this. Well, it'll be available to you, but I think this is such a good session, I would download it and hang on to it, right? So what I could do is I could let you get into my account. I can tell you which session this one is, and you could go into the account and download it yourself to keep it, or I will download it and figure out how to send it, like maybe through one of those send large file kind of things, because it's too big to send through the regular email. But I'll do one or the other, because I would really suggest that you start keeping this stuff, listen to it when you need to, and recognize what you're here to do, right? Like really let it in that there's no coincidence that I'm doing this work with you, and that there are very few people here who are ever going to have the chance to do this. So that means there's a really strong reason that it's you, right?
Yeah, I just thank you so much, Heather. This is really, really special, and I don't know about Audra, but I can't help but think about the people maybe we're learning this, and so maybe we can help others, like Amelia and
that's right.
I haven't even met. Like, whoa.
Right? I know.
Yeah.
It's exciting. And you're getting, and what just imagine, most people go to college and they're doing it, and you're just getting to learn with love and joy, and you're transforming your life, and as you do it, you're learning how to help others do the same thing. And now, let me show you one more timeline, and that is this. Rebecca in particular, and possibly Audra, but both of you imagine this just in case. Imagine yourself learning what you're learning, and it's all sinking in, and you continue with it. Imagine where you go. Imagine yourself talking to others. It may be a very subtle thing. It doesn't have to be on a stage. It doesn't, it may be just what I do over the phone, or you just may meet people and you just organically find out who's ready, right? And share with whoever's ready, right? But imagine how that feels based on what you learned today, going forward in time. What do you see?
Okay. Well, this is Rebecca. I feel really good about it, and like you said, like it would happen in a natural, organic way, and it would just, like, the opportunities and the people would present themselves. Like, I wouldn't have to go find them. We would just align ourselves and allow that experience to just happen, and it would just be effortless.
Yep.
Kind of what I'm getting. What about
you,
Audra?
And what color do you see around it?
Green just popped into my head.
Okay. Right? That's the heart chakra really again, right? So you're seeing this green heart-based energy. And when you're in that timeline, is there any lack? Is there any financial, emotional, any kind of lack?
No.
And do you feel that everything is there, your health, your relationships, money, is everything present and available to you?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's what automatically happens when you follow your path.
Wow.
Notice that you don't have to think about how to make money. Because the truth is, money doesn't even exist. It's just a construct. It's quite meaningless. Okay?
Yeah,
so you don't have to do it like a business. You don't have to think, well, how am I going to? You just let it happen. And you will discover that you are always taken care of no matter what. And when you're in that state of love and appreciation and gratitude, right? You stick with that, and the universe must show it to you. It has to. It doesn't have a choice. The game does not have a choice but to show you yourself with all the love and gratitude. Just imagine, both of you right now, imagine just living your life with love, appreciation, and gratitude, and whatever comes to you comes when it's meant to, and you have no energy around it. You're just like hanging out there. Do you see what a spectacular life you're going to live?
It's better than anything imagined, because if you can't imagine it, then it'll be such a pretty surprise. It's like, wow, okay, I guess we'll go for that.
Right? Well, this is the energy of 5D. This is what we're in right now. We are in 5D, and the people who are not experiencing this are the people who focused on the 3D thing. They're in fear, they're worried, and therefore they must experience what they're focused on, even though that's not what's here. And what you've both got to experience today is how to be right in 5D. Boom. You just lined yourself right up with it and went, heck yeah, I'm doing 5D. That's so much more fun than the other way, right? Because everything you were worried about before was all 3D. Well, when am I going to meet the right guy, and I don't have the right job, and I don't know. And now you're like, holy cow, we have the keys to the kingdom, man. Don't you?
Yeah. Wow. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm speechless. We took notes. We're like, we got to pour over these. We're like, whoa.
Right? Yeah. Because this is 5D right here. This is what we're doing. You're like right now, you're in this little pocket of 5D. Notice, you can just look around and you're like, wow, I'm here. Oh my gosh. Holy cow, right? You're here. And the way that you stay here is by sticking with just what you've been learning. And notice how when you do this, you don't even have to let go of old fear. You literally replace it, right? Oh. You notice that you replaced the fear that you couldn't go back to California with the feeling, I can do anything. And I can feel it, and I can have the whole experience and come back home in just a matter of minutes and feel fantastic. Like, that was a great trip. And whoever takes a great trip and then wants to repack their bags and go right back out the door, everyone wants to go, I'm back at home. It feels great. Right?
Yeah. Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? And you just did that in one little session. You just did that. And so you know that you can do that anytime. What else could you, and you've dealt with all levels here. You've gone through finances, which is usually the reason you think you can't go some places. I can't afford to go, right? You've dealt with relationships. You've seen your beloved, and you know how it feels to have him be there, and so how your body went, oh, okay, that's the truth. And then you've done it with health, where you've seen health and life and death, right? That there is no death. Like, you're absolutely clear on that. You will never be afraid of that again unless you say so. But that's only if you decide to create, I should be afraid of death, or I was crazy to think that death wasn't, whatever. That's like all the stuff that the left brain could get into. But you're going to go, nah, that's not fun. I don't want to do it that way. That's so not fun. I'm just going to do it the fun way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. We did touch on all those things, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Right? And it wasn't, and notice this, all I did was follow the energy. I didn't try. I didn't go, okay, let's come up with this example and that example. I wasn't trying to do anything. All I do is follow the flow of the energy. And that's why I kept saying that to you, because this is what's going to happen for you. You'll be in a session, and if you just follow your intuition, follow the feeling, you will be shown things. And it will be fun for you too. Like, this was really fun for me because this is stuff I haven't seen come up before. And I think that's because people haven't been ready for it before. Right? They're still working on, and then I had this problem, and then I had that problem, and then my girlfriend this, and my husband that, right? But you two were just ready, and so it got to come out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was really
well done.
special.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
This was
my pleasure.
This was so fantastic. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. Yay. Awesome. Okay. Well, awesome. So I will send you this, and I will try to figure out how to record it or get it to you as a recording so you can save it. But it will definitely be online. But I would save this link for sure when I send it to you. Keep it someplace so you can always go back and listen to this as much as you want. But you'll also find that you don't have to listen to it very much, because you'll probably just assimilate it, which you already did. And that's what's amazing. In this session, you don't notice it wasn't in your left brain. You assimilated it right into your body. So now you can feel, and let yourself really look into how you feel now as opposed to how you felt an hour and a half ago or whenever we started, right? Can you feel this physically, this incredible shift of energy within your body where you both know for a fact that love is all there is, and anything else you're experiencing, you're creating it in your mind. But love is all there is. Now, can you feel that?
100%. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like
there you go.
Just
right on. Yeah. And now you'll know why years and years ago, when I realized I had a talent for talking with people. I mean, we never went to these levels, obviously. Consciousness was not ready. I didn't know it. But when I first realized, oh my gosh, I have a talent for this, right? I thought, oh, I should go to college and become a psychotherapist, right? And my guides came right in and they went, don't you dare. They said, you are light years beyond therapy. And I went, okay, I won't go to college to learn how to be a therapist and drop my frequency way down. So to this day, I don't have a single letter after my name. I never went to college for anything other than acting. And just realize that, don't pay any attention to what society tells you need, because you don't. Right?
Yeah.
And look what we were able to do in an hour. I mean, you couldn't do years and years of therapy and get here, could you? Ever? Because therapy is not capable. Therapy is just not capable of it. It can't see beyond the, it's like down in a cave and it doesn't know that there's a way out. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna stay in our little cave here, and we're all like, well, let's do sunshine and galactic travel, and let's go to the other side and come back in the same session. Oh, yay! All right. Okay, wow. You girls are fabulous. All right, lots of love to you both. Thank you so much for joining us at Psychic Insights. You will often hear me refer to life as a game. To understand this concept on a deeper level, listen to The Game audiobook by Heather Noel. There's also a free 60-day e-course at thegivinggamefoundation.com. Links are in the description box. Be sure you like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell if you'd like to receive more of these talks. Thank you.